You ready? Let's go.
What's up, everybody? It's another episode of Ball Sports. It's your host, Brandon, again, back at you with another episode of Ball Sports. Today, I wanted to go into detail about Jon Jones and his overall legacy and career. I feel, yes, Jon Jones is one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. I also feel like he's got some sketchy wins, and I wanted to go over him and kind of give my opinion about him and tell you how I felt about him. We'll just jump right into it. He's got 3 sketchy wins. Sketchy, I mean, is I could see the other dude won 3 rounds to 2. That's just how I feel. I'm not right, I'm not wrong, but I wanted to give my opinion about it. As I watched these fights, I kind of noticed that they were a lot closer than people were making them seem. We'll start off with his first close fight, Alexander Gupsison. Him and Alexander beat the hell out of each other. I just watched the fight a couple weeks ago. I feel Alexander won that fight 3-2. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I'm not right, I'm not wrong. Alexander won 3 of those rounds, though, if you ask me. He had the better striking. Jon Jones was kicking his legs out from under him. That's the only thing that you could argue, though, is that Jon Jones' kicks were more effective than his striking. I still don't think that's the case. Alexander took Jon Jones down, I think, 3 times during the fight. Jon Jones hadn't even been taken down once in all of his fights before that, and Alexander actually shot on him and got Jon Jones to the ground. I think Jon shot 9 times, or he shot 10 times and got his 9th one, which is very interesting. Alexander's not really known for not necessarily takedown stuffing, but he's not known for his ground game. And the fact that he could stop Jon Jones, who slammed everybody, stop him from getting him to the ground, I thought was a feat in itself. I also feel that the takedown stuff should have been for more points. Jon Jones couldn't get this dude down to the ground until like the 5th round, I'm pretty sure is what it was. He finally got a takedown, and he didn't do much with it. I think you score that. I think Alexander just won 1 more round. I think Jon Jones won the 4th and the 5th. I feel Alexander won the first 3, though. And they always say you got to beat the champ to be the champ, but I hate that saying, and I feel like Alexander definitely won that fight. I could see a little bit of argument, but not really. So that's the first one, Alexander Gupsison versus Jon Jones. If you haven't seen it on YouTube, go check it out. It's a very good fight. 2 dudes just beat the hell out of each other. For sure, Alexander put on a great performance. He was great at boxing that night, and he showed up way better than Jon Jones did. The second one, I've watched a little bit of. I've watched the highlights. I got to watch the fight in an entirety. I know he won it by split decision. It was Jon Jones versus Thiago Santos. I feel Santos could have won this fight. This is probably the one that you can make the best argument for, though, that Jon Jones was dominating the fight. Once again, Jon Jones was kicking the hell out of him, landed some big shots. Thiago he held his own in there. He showed up. He did everything that he was supposed to do to win that fight, and then unfortunately they gave it to Jon Jones at the end of the night. Like I said, this is probably the least arguable one. You could say Jon Jones won clearly. You can call me stupid and all that, but I think this was a really close fight and all. I could see Thiago winning 3 rounds, but I do see it 2-2, and then 1 round's up debatable, and I think it was the 3rd or the 4th round you could argue whether Jon Jones or Thiago won. Very close fight and all, though. Jon Jones has had a run for his money, and this was one of those examples. We'll move on to the last one, and this one gets under my skin, honestly. Jon Jones versus Dominic Reyes. This is the last fight Jon Jones had. This fight was extra close. I think Dominic Reyes won. I'll sit and argue with it about it to anybody. Dominic Reyes won that fight. And the funny thing is I do a little bit of betting on a FanDuel Sportsbook. I put $150 on Jon Jones, and I thought I lost my money at the end of the fight. I was upset. I was like, damn it, the one time I bet on him, he's going to end up losing. He lost this fight, and I bet on him. And eventually, the judges robbed Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes won that fight. He won that fight, and it's hard to make an argument that he didn't win at least 3 rounds. At least 3 rounds. You could argue that Dominic Reyes won 4 of those rounds. Jon Jones at the end of the fight tried to say, oh, the takedowns were where I won it. Dominic Reyes got right back up. So you can score the takedowns, but you got to score the get up too. I don't understand that. This fight was a complete robbery, and like I said, I had money on Jon Jones, and I thought I lost my money at the end of the fight. If you haven't seen that one, I doubt it's on YouTube right now, but I'm sure it will be if it ever pops up. I guarantee it'll be one of the best fights you've ever watched, and one of the biggest upsets that should have happened and not did happen. Dominic Reyes was robbed of that fight. That's really all I got to say about it. Dominic controlled the fight for at least 3 to 4 rounds. He was tagging Jon Jones up. Jon didn't know what to do. Jon was bleeding. And it was just a dominant display by Dominic Reyes. You can say he ran out of gas at the 4th or 5th rounds, but 3 to 2, that's a winning fight. A lot of people say that you gotta beat the champ to be the champ, and I just don't see that. I just think that's a washed out saying. People need to stop saying that. So there's my 3 fights: Alexander Gupsison, Thiago Santos, Dominic Reyes. One of those guys should have won one of those fights, and therefore Jon Jones shouldn't be undefeated like he is. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Make sure you comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps my channel grow a long way. And just let me know how you feel in the comments about these. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but let me know. I'd like the interaction. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Ball Sports.